Once again, welcome to our webinar today, Peer-to-Peer Fundraising with the Soapbox Engage Donations app. We're very excited to be able to bring you this content today as a way of providing an overview of what the Soapbox Engage Donations app offers in terms of your online peer-to-peer donation campaigns. We know that in this time in particular of a lot of unknowns and changing circumstances, fundraisers have been presented with new and unique challenges. But one thing that remains consistent is that often folks who are outside of your organization and existing supporters are often some of the very best fundraisers that you can have, and peer-to-peer fundraising is a great opportunity to leverage those folks and their passion and their social networks to benefit your organization and its mission. Just by way of introduction, my name is Tim Forbes. I'm the VP of Products and Marketing here at PicNet. PicNet is the company behind the Soapbox Engage platform. We've been around since 2000, serving nonprofit organizations with their technology needs. And Soapbox Engage is a platform that has grown out of that 20 years of experience serving nonprofit organizations, and is really designed to help you as an organization raise more money and change the world. And we realize that that is a lofty statement, but that is the goal. That's what we exist for and what our passion is. The way that passion translates into specific offerings, just by way of context here, is Soapbox Engage offers 7 different, actually more than that now, many different apps that you can make use of for your online engagement strategy. The first is our donations app. We're going to be spending all of our time today focused on not just the donations app in general, but the specific peer-to-peer offering that's available with the donations app. But in addition to that, there are a number of other apps available as part of the Soapbox Engage suite. Those include our events app for online event registrations, our classes app, which is essentially the events app on steroids because it allows you to offer an entire course catalog with instructors, classes that fit under courses, venues, a whole host of options for those looking to offer a complete course catalog. We have our Forms app, which allows you to easily create web forms through clicks, not code, that push data to the Salesforce constituent relationship management tool. And then our Directories app, which is the mirror of the Forms app, that allows you to pull data from Salesforce and display it on your website. That's great for membership organizations and other folks that have data about, say, organizations or individuals that they want to make public that's kept in Salesforce, and they want to easily display that and allow folks to search it on their website. We have our Shop app, which is our e-commerce solution if you've got widgets or wares to sell. And then our 2 online advocacy apps for petitions to allow folks to come and sign your petition online, and Actions, which is similar to petitions, but takes it a step further and allows you to set given targets to receive a letter from your supporters or an email from your supporters. And those targets can either be elected officials or custom targets that you add to the system. In addition to all of those apps, we have a portal service that is an add-on feature. So if you want to allow folks to come log in to the front end of your Soapbox Engage site and have a personalized web experience from there, Portals is what offers that. Some of the peer-to-peer functionality is leveraging that, and we'll be able to see that in action here in a moment. We have our Soapbox Mailer mass email tool that's a native Salesforce app that allows you to send out mass emails directly from Salesforce. And then if that was not enough, we have our full Soapbox content management system. So if you want to run your entire website on the Soapbox platform, you can do that as well. All of these apps are available a la carte or through our unlimited package. So we're really designing things for you to choose what is going to serve your needs the best. That goes for the donations app and the peer-to-peer offering as well. The peer-to-peer offering is an add-on for our donations tool, and we're going to go ahead and just jump right in here to show you what that looks like from a front-end perspective. So a few things to note about the peer-to-peer experience with Soapbox Engage in its donations app. The peer-to-peer experience, or creating a peer-to-peer campaign, is as simple as toggling an option on a standard donation form in Soapbox. You can create any donation form that you wish and simply enable it as a peer-to-peer donation campaign. Within the donations app, you can create an unlimited number of donation pages. And since any of those single pages can be an entire campaign, that means you can have an unlimited number of peer-to-peer campaigns that you run either over time or all at once if you have specific targeting of individuals or groups that you want to activate to fundraise on your behalf. So that means that you can have a general peer-to-peer campaign that you launch at a given time, have it be time-bound, or you can have a very specific cause or community or event that you have in mind for the campaign. So the one that we have here is very generic. Join us in funding this important work. We've got another example here where we're looking to have a Giving Tuesday Tell a Friend campaign so that you can leverage that critical end of year giving season as a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign. Within each of these campaigns, you've got a bunch of different options for how you present the campaign to your visitors. The first choice that you've got is whether or not you want to enable a campaign with teams. In both of the cases that we're going to be looking at today, we've enabled teams to be created by front-end visitors so that you can have folks organize themselves into groups and fundraise on your behalf through those groups. This is great if you've got, say, chapters across the country that you're looking to activate, or part of different schools, fraternities, sororities, churches, any number of different aspects where you have groups of individuals, even just groups of friends that want to get together and fundraise on your behalf. The donations peer-to-peer app allows you to provide that as an opportunity for folks to come and create a team. Within that, individuals who are the team captains creating the teams can choose a number of different ways to customize their team page, from a team avatar to a team name to a goal that the team is seeking to raise. And then the individuals, when they go ahead and create that team, are allowed to customize that as they wish. You also have the ability to go ahead and set a goal for your overall campaign. As we see here, we've got a goal of $2,500. We see in our progress bar on our main campaign page that we are 18% of the way there, or $470 raised. That goal can either be explicitly set by you, so regardless of how many teams, regardless of how many fundraisers you have the overarching goal of, in this case, 2,500, or you can allow the goal to be dynamic and based on the sum of the goals of all of the other fundraising pages. That's entirely up to you. You've got some searching abilities here on the front end. So if somebody comes to the main landing page and they want to find a team or a fundraiser that they want to give towards, they can go ahead and use the search bar to do that. You've got the option to customize not only the name of the campaign, but the pitch here at the top that is inviting folks to donate and or create a team or create a fundraising page. You've got the ability to turn on or off a donation form on the main campaign. So some campaigns, it makes a lot of sense to have the donation form on this main landing page because you're mostly interested in folks giving to you, even if it's not associated with an individual's fundraising page. Or in some cases, you may wish to just disable this form so folks are only giving through the individual fundraising pages. That's entirely up to you. As with other aspects of our donation form, you can customize the donation experience dramatically in terms of the predefined amounts that you create, whether or not folks are able to give just one time, just recurring, or either. You're able to customize how these options appear. So in this case, we toggle between one-time and monthly. We could also display one-time and monthly predefined amounts all at once, just simultaneously. Beyond that, you can have the standard fields that we have here for name, email address, whether or not somebody wants to receive your newsletter, and then any additional thoughts that they want to share about why they are supporting this campaign. You also have the ability to allow folks to designate their donation in honor or in memory of someone. And then if you have our Salesforce integration enabled, you can also add custom questions here to ask folks really any number of things that you would want them to tell you when they're providing their donation. We've got the donation form itself that allows you to have a number of different payment processors selected here. The peer-to-peer experience and donations in general works with Authorize.net, Braintree, CyberSource, PayPal, IATS, Stripe, TouchNet. I think I got them all. So there's a number of different options that you've got for the backend payment processor that actually swipes the credit card. And then to complete the view here of the main landing page, you've got your donors that have given to this particular campaign listed at the bottom. Again, many of the aspects that you see here are customizable in terms of what shows up, what text appears, so it really can be tailored to meet your needs for a given campaign. We saw our 2 teams that have been created so far, and we took a brief little look here at the fundraisers. Much like the teams, we display these as tiles. You can go ahead and search for a given fundraiser. You've got options for how you want to display the tiles here. So every fundraiser and every team has an avatar that's associated with it and a name, either the name of the fundraiser or the name of the team. You also have, as we'll see in a moment, a team image and a fundraising page image. That's the hero image that appears at the top. If you wanted, you could enable that to be what's shown here on the tiles, and also set the title of the team page or the title of the fundraising page to show here. That's most appropriate for instances where organizations may want to have the same functionality for peer-to-peer that we see, where you've got the individual pages with individual goals. But in some cases, they say, hey, we want to not have individuals that have these pages. We want to create pages for given efforts, given programmatic efforts that we have in our organization. And in those cases, you've got the ability to change what shows up in the cards, or the tiles, so you see the hero image for each fundraising page and then the title of the fundraising page. So instead of saying my name here, Tim Forbes, it could say literacy extravaganza, or whatever programmatic effort you might have. So there's, again, a lot of flexibility for how you want to roll out a given peer-to-peer fundraising page. To take a look at some examples here of the team and fundraising page itself, if we go to, in this case, an example of the team page, we see the hero image at the top, we see the avatar for the team and the team name. we see the progress that the team has made towards its goal of $1,000. And we've got the option to join the team here if somebody wants to create a fundraising page as part of this team. We've got the appeal that starts with the team title and then has this text that is something that you could create as a default in terms of the default text that you want to offer folks when they create their own team. And then folks can customize that as they wish with text and various ways to format that text if they wish. We've got the members of the team that we show here, and then a link back to the main campaign. This can be turned on or off if you wish, and then a list of those donors. If we drill down to the individual fundraising page, we'll see a very similar setup. We've got the hero image. Again, this happens to be the default hero image that myself as an administrator selected for fundraising pages, but it can be altered by the fundraiser when they create their page. We've got the fundraiser's avatar and name, their progress, some various options here to jump right to the donate form on this page, to share this page if folks want to share this over Facebook or Twitter, or copy the link so that they can email it to somebody or share it in some other form. And then a login button so a fundraiser can easily log in and manage their page. We've got the same fundraising page title that shows up with the appeal that is included here, and then the form itself. The form is the same form that we saw on the main campaign page with the same ability to customize the various amounts and frequencies and fields that you're asking folks to fill out. We've got, much like the team page, a link back to the campaign that can be turned on or off, and then a link to the team if this fundraising campaign is part of a team. And we've got the donors that are displayed here along with their statement of why they're supporting this page if they've offered one. If somebody chooses to be anonymous, their name will not be displayed. It will just show as anonymous and the amount will be presented. So what does it look like if someone actually wants to go ahead and create a fundraising page? Well, this is where we get to see some of our portal service in action that is specifically rolled out for the peer-to-peer fundraising experience. So if we go ahead and say, hey, I want to be part of this Giving Tuesday Tell a Friend campaign, and I'm just going to go ahead and click Start Fundraising. Now, Soapbox offers folks a couple different options for starting this process. One is if you have a Google account, whether that is a personal Gmail account or a Google Apps account for your business or organization, you can sign in just automatically with that Google account, whether or not you've ever been to this website before in your life. Or if you wish, you can choose to register for an account just by providing your name, email address, username, and creating a password. That will grant you access to create a fundraising page or a team if we chose to create a team. Or if you already have an account that you created earlier, you could just click log in with your account here. I'm going to go ahead and click the sign in with Google option. And what that does is offer me a Google pop-up that lets me choose, oh, and I've been on this page for too long, that's why we get this. It gives me the option to go ahead and see my Google accounts. So we're going to go back here. And start fundraising again. So sign in with Google. choose my Google account. And that automatically logs me in and presents me with the create fundraising page. Now, because we went ahead and clicked the start fundraising button from the main campaign page rather than from an individual team page, and because this fundraising campaign has teams active, which is an option that you as a Soapbox administrator can have. You can have teams not be an option and just everybody has their own individual fundraising pages. In this case, since there are teams associated with this campaign, I can go ahead and either choose to be an individual fundraiser or select, in this case, the one team that's present, Giving Tuesday Champions. I can alter the title as I wish. I can alter the appeal as I wish. I can change the goal. And then down here, what Soapbox does is automatically create a unique URL for this page that we can go ahead and change. So if I want to go ahead and say that it's going to be Phil Penguin, which is my username for my Google account, I can go ahead and click check, and then it shows me, hey, that's available. So I'll go ahead and stick with that. We get to see the default image that the administrator has set for the fundraising pages associated with the campaign. I kind of like that, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that and just click Start Fundraising. Once I do that, I'm taken just right to my fundraising page. I get to see my hero image. I get to see my avatar, which is actually pulled dynamically from my Google account and tossed in there. And then I've got the ability to edit my page if I wish, which is the option that is unique to this particular view once I've logged in as the fundraiser. Now, there's a number of things that happen throughout the course of the experience with the peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns in terms of email notifications that can be sent. So you as an administrator can opt to enable notifications to team captains so that when I just joined this Giving Tuesday Tell a Friend campaign, Giving Tuesday Champions team, the team captain for this team would receive an email that says, hey, you just had somebody new join your team. Same thing goes for any donation that comes through this page, my page. I can be set to receive a donation notification through email that says, hey, you just got a donation that was given to you as part of your campaign, part of your fundraising page. To give us snapshots of how things look in the administrator. So if we look at the donations manager here, this is a list of all of the donation pages that we have on our site. Some are just the standards organization-wide sort of perennial donation form that's the main page for our website. Some are individual fundraising campaigns that are date specific. Some are activity fundraisers. If you're interested in learning more about activity fundraisers for like a virtual walkathon, a virtual 5K, we've got a webinar tomorrow to talk about that. We're going to jump into one of the peer-to-peer forms that we've been looking at on the front end, this Join Us in Funding This Important Work campaign. And you'll see there's a ton of customizations that are available to you. We've taken our best shot at providing you with what we think are going to be the most standardized, successful options that are pre-selected, but you've got tons of ability to customize text, to change position of various elements on the form, and to set a host of options for the peer-to-peer experience itself. So just to give a sense of how easy it is to start a peer-to-peer campaign, all you need to do in the administrator is go to the fundraiser tab if you have the peer-to-peer add-on and simply choose yes for the peer-to-peer option. That takes any ordinary donation form and grants it superpowers to become a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign. From there, you've got a bunch of options for turning on team fundraising. And if you have Salesforce integration, deciding how that integration looks in the Salesforce CRM. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. From there, you've got, again, tons of options for customizing whether or not various buttons for start fundraising, create a team, log in, log out, show up, what the language is that's used, the fundraising goal for the campaign writ large, other elements of how that content shows up in the tiles, and then a number of other options for the default team elements that we see here, default elements for the fundraising page itself, those email notifications that I mentioned, and then if you want to take the additional step, again, this is discussing activity fundraising, so that virtual walkathon, virtual 5K, you can go ahead and enable that here. That's out of the purview of this particular demo, but you can hop on tomorrow if you wish to learn more about that. Within the administrator, if you've enabled the fundraising page as a peer-to-peer page and you've enabled teams, you can create and manage teams on this tab. This gives you access to see a summary of all those teams in general, and then also edit those as you wish. And then on the integration tab, here's where we can enable Salesforce integration. So to talk more about that for a moment, with any donation page within Soapbox, and indeed any form in Soapbox, be it an event registration or a petition or any number of things, once somebody submits that form on the front end, if you are using Salesforce as your constituent relationship management tool, and if you've enabled a given form to integrate with Salesforce, what happens is Soapbox will go ahead and send the data for, in this case, the donation to Salesforce as a lead and associate it with a campaign in Salesforce that you designate here. You have the option when you click select, and unfortunately I'm logged out of the administrator because I set up my tabs well before the webinar started. You have the ability to go ahead and search for an existing campaign in Salesforce or create an entirely new one just here from within Soapbox. Now, what happens when the lead is created is we have packages that auto-convert that lead to send the data where it needs to go, to a opportunity or donation record in Salesforce, to a contact, and to an organization or account. Within the peer-to-peer experience, we go a couple steps further than that. So for any donation that comes in, we can automatically associate it with the team and fundraising page structure that has been set up within the peer-to-peer fundraising experience. What does that mean exactly? So within Salesforce, if you have a campaign, a given campaign can have a number of generations underneath it. So what we do is we make it so that the main campaign you designate here, in our case, this is Join Us P2P campaign. Any team that is created will have a child campaign created for that team that falls under this parent Join Us P2P campaign. What's more, any fundraising page that is associated with a given team will have a child campaign created underneath that team's campaign, which is, again, in turn, underneath the main Join Us peer-to-peer campaign. If you have a fundraising page that is not associated with a team, then there'll just be a direct parent-child relationship between that fundraising pages campaign and the Join Us peer-to-peer campaign. We're all about just making sure that the data is easy and understandable when we send it to Salesforce, so that you've got a nice snapshot of who your fundraisers are and then who gave to which fundraising page and which team. Within the administrator, we've also got the ability to go ahead and view and manage the individual fundraising pages here. So you can see who created which page is associated with which team. If you wish to make some edits to a given fundraising page for whatever reason, you can do so. If you need to change the team or add a team, because maybe somebody created their fundraising page on the front end and they did it as an individual fundraiser, but they really want to be part of the Giving Tuesday Champions team, let's say, you can go in as an administrator, edit that fundraising page, and associate it with that team. That is the overview of the peer-to-peer fundraising experience. Just to highlight a couple of the other use cases for the peer-to-peer experience, a lot of the flexibility that we've got here for things like whether or not you want to show the links to the team or the campaign itself, that is there so that you have more flexibility for different use cases. So let's say you want to do something like provide a peer-to-peer campaign that allows somebody to come and create a birthday fundraising page. So it's something that you're not requiring anybody to participate as part of a team. You may not even want to have a link from the individual birthday fundraising page that somebody created to go back to the main campaign page. You may just want folks to be able to share this link, have folks come here, and then just be focused on giving money to this particular birthday fundraiser. That's an option because you've got the ability to go ahead and hide those links that you see off to the right. It's just another example of some of the flexibility that you have for crafting your particular peer-to-peer fundraising experience to meet the needs of your organization and the needs of your organization for a very specific, discrete peer-to-peer campaign. That is our presentation today. Thanks so much for hopping on. Once again, as noted, we are going to have the virtual activity fundraising with Soapbox donations tomorrow. If you want to join to learn more about what that looks like and how you can extend the peer-to-peer experience with integration with Strava, an activity tracker, to allow folks to do virtual 5Ks, virtual marathons, virtual swim meets, whatever you want to do, to basically turn your supporters' sweat into fundraising dollars to power your mission. If you're interested in that, feel free to go ahead and sign up for that just by going to soapboxengage.com and viewing our events. But once again, thanks for hopping on today, and much mission success.